They'll take the paint off of you. Hi, everyone. This is the seventh day of Kwanzaa. It is called Imani. And Imani is one of the seven principles. Remember that for Kwanzaa, there's a principle for each and every day. Here at the Ornwine Ford household, we have been celebrating Kwanzaa every single evening. And we are so happy that the children of the household, Lyric, Zavion, and Serenity have been participating strong. They've lit the candles every night. And we have been able to celebrate all seven principles. And believe it or not, the children have had a lot to say about each of the principles. And Marvin's been drumming us in, and Mama's been reading spirituals and from the Bible. And we've had so much that we have shared as a family, but also for our community. Mm-hmm. So we are happy that Imani is the last day. And today, the full Kenora was lit, all seven candles, all seven Mishima, as they say. Yeah. And we were really happy to be able to celebrate it. Now, what we talked about was, what does it mean to have faith in our community, in our people, in our teachers, our leaders? What does that mean? We had some really good discussion about the complexities of that, but also the realities of it. So I thought it was a good day. We talked again about our history as people, that today is New Year's Day, but it's also because the Reverend Jesse Jackson was reminding everybody that it's also Emancipation Day. And so we talked about the Emancipation Proclamation, 400 years of African presence in the United States. We talked about slavery, the wealth that was generated by slavery, and all of the problems that there are in this United States around race. So we had a really great discussion, but we also had a wonderful celebration. It was festive, we drummed, the kids were dancing, there was just so much going on. Everybody participated, shared their hopes for 2019. No, not just New Year's resolutions, but our real, how we're gonna apply these principles. How are we gonna do Umoja? How are we gonna be united? What does unity mean? We talked about unity. We talked a lot about Kujichagulia, self-determination. How are we going to define ourselves, speak for ourselves, create for ourselves? We talked about that at good length. Every single day that came up. We also talked about Ujima, collective work and responsibility. And we talked about, what does that mean? What do you do to collectively improve each other? And how do we work together for the best, not only household, but the best community, the best African nation, the best people that we can be. We also had a great talk about Ujaba and cooperative economics. What do we need to do to have the strongest wealth creation generation? How do we help each other economically? Just even in our household, to get cars, the extra cars we need. And I know people say, well, when we talked about savings, we talked about owning our own businesses. How do we invest in each other's businesses? So there was a lot of good talk. We learned a lot about each other's goals and aspirations professionally that we didn't even know about. So it was quite a revealing, set of days, and people grew throughout the days, and people started sharing more as each day went. Mm-hmm. Then we came to Nia Purpose. Oh, that was so powerful. The kids love Nia. Mm-hmm. And we had a great discussion about purpose and how do we know what our destiny is and our purpose in our life, and how your purpose is not necessarily your job. Mm-hmm. A whole lot of people are in jobs that are not their purpose. Your purpose is something, so much tied to your destiny. And so we talked about that and about our purpose and how we're going to do that. We also studied Swahili words. So we all learned to say several Swahili words. not just the ones about the symbols and the principles, but we also learned other Swahili phrases, other Swahili words. So that was really big, and the kids loved it. They loved, adding a new language to their vocabulary. Then we celebrated Kuumba. And Kuumba was beautiful because the kids put on a performance for us. And then they shocked us by giving us zawadis. They made these, which is a Kwanzaa principle, that you make your gifts. And they made these gifts for us, these necklaces for all the adults, and hung them on all of over our heads, so that we can celebrate our Kwanzaa and our Zawadi. It was really beautiful. It was totally unexpected and wonderful. And this last day, we done Imani, and we talked about faith and what all the dimensions of faith, and what does it mean to believe in things unseen. And we talked about faith and what it means to believe in our people, what it means to believe in our teachers, yet at the same time, we got to make sure that we're teaching and that we're watching what people are being taught. And we talked about leaders and the failure of leadership with, Donald Trump, but the rise of the people's leadership and challenging an unjust, administration. So there, we had a lot to talk about today, and we had a lot of hope for the future. And I am so grateful that in this household, this Arnwine Ford household, that we celebrate Kwanzaa. I say to all of you, if you celebrated Kwanzaa, then harambe to you. I'm so grateful that you had a great Kwanzaa. If you weren't able to celebrate Kwanzaa this time, then next year be ready. Be sure to, as I mentioned, you can Google Kwanzaa. You can go to community events. There were community events tonight for Imani all over the country. And all over the world. I just want to remind you that you can do it. So don't be dissuaded. Kwanzaa is wonderful. We will be meeting every month. I have a family meeting to see how we're doing with our Kwanzaa commitments. And we're going to make it part of our lifestyle. So to all of you, thank you for watching, and thank you for your activism. Thank you for being.
And today is also New Year's, right?
And Happy New Year
and Emancipation.
To an Emancipation Day and 400-year anniversary for African descendants in the United States.
And there's an article by Reverend Jesse Jackson if people want to learn more about it, right?
There's a great article that Reverend Jesse Jackson has written in the New York Times, op-ed that you should read. It was published today. So be sure to read it and to know about it. I was so proud that my pastor at church last night actually said for the first time that he wanted to acknowledge that New Year's was Emancipation Day. So that our night watch service, he told people the history of it. And that just shows you how Jesse Jackson has inspired ministers all over the country. And I'm so glad on our radio show, Igniting Change, that's broadcast every Tuesday from 12 to 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, that we were able to talk about Emancipation Day, how New Year's Day is more than Alon Zion and people trying to sleep over, let's say, hangovers and all the rest of it and New Year's resolutions, but it's about emancipation. It's about the fight for liberation.
And people can watch that episode at facebook.com/Barbara R. Arnwine. So
That's
you can go
right.
to her Facebook page, and it's the first post that's there. So thank you, Barbara, and thank you for reviewing and for...
Thank you, Caitlin. You are a social media mad genius. Thank you for all of your great gifts. Thank you.
Yes. And Marvin, did you want to say anything? Did you want to say anything, Marvin?
Yeah.
Give us any drum solo?
Like I said last night, everybody should get their family together and experience some of this Kwanzaa. Hey, harambe.
Harambe.
All right, say Botsy out. Do you deuces?
Deuces.
Deuces. Deuces.